Good morning, dear students. Today, in our value education class, we will study lesson commitment. So, let us begin the now commitment. Commitment is a promise to do something. We have commitments towards our parents, teachers, elders, brothers and sisters, society and nation. We should always fulfill our commitments. It is our responsibility to keep our words. A person who understands his or her commitments and keeps his or her words is loved and trusted by all. If you don't keep your promise, you make someone suffer due to your negligence. If you are true to your words, everyone will like you. So, always keep your promise and commitment, however difficult and demanding the sacrifice it may be. So, first of all, let us understand what commitment is. Commitment is a promise or an agreement you do to someone. So, basically, we can say that commitment is a promise. So, when we are living in a society with our parents, with our friends and relatives, and so on, so we have commitment towards them also, and they are also having commitment towards us. So, we have commitments towards our parents, our society, our nation, and everybody around us, and we should always fulfill these commitments. And this fulfilling these commitments is our responsibility that we should keep our promises. A person who fulfills his commitments is always trusted by everyone and everyone loved him or her. But if we will not keep our promise, then it may happen that someone will suffer due to our ignorance. Negligence means ignorance. So if we are true to our word, we will fulfill our promise. Everyone will like us, and that is why we should fulfill our promises. Many a times it may happen that the promises which you have done, they may ask for a sacrifice or some difficulties, but we should not set back and do not fulfill our promises. We should, whatever sacrifices we have to do, we should fulfill our commitment. Shibi Rana was a just and kind-hearted king. He was prepared to even sacrifice himself for those who were weak. Shibi Rana was such a powerful king that people used to say the very gods are afraid of him. One day, Indra, the king of gods, decided to test Shibi Rana. And so it happened that as the king was seated in his hall of justice, there flew in a frightened dove chased by a fierce looking eagle. As the eagle was about to pounce on its prey, the king took the dove into his cloak to shelter it. Now we will read a story about a king whose name is Shibirana. Now this king Shibirana, he was a lover of justice and he was a very kind-hearted person. For his subjects, for his people who live in his kingdom, those who were weak, he was prepared to even sacrifice everything for them. So he was helpful to those who are weak. Now it is said that Shibi Rana was such a powerful king that people say that the gods, even the gods, are afraid of him. So one day Indra, who is the king of all gods, he decided to test Shibirana that why is he so much powerful and so much famous among the people. So what happened one day when the king Shibirana was sitting with his courtiers in his court, then at that time a dove, a bird, came inside the hall, that is the court, and it was very much frightened Why was it frightened? Because a fierce looking eagle, a frightening looking eagle was following him. Now, when the eagle was about to pounce on the dove, pounce means to attack by jumping. So the eagle wanted to kill the dove. So when it was about to jump on the prey, that is the dove, to kill him, the king took the dove into his cloak. Cloak is the long garment worn by the noble peoples, the kings, the courtmen. So the king did, the king took the dove and hide him in his clothes to give him shelter. The eagle was wild with rage and turning to the king cried angrily, "How dare you deprive me of my prey?" "I dare because I am the king of this region and my work is to protect the weak," said the king. "The dove trusts me and has come to me for shelter. Shall I then betray that trust?" "You saved the dove and starved me of my food. Is this your idea of justice?" asked the predator. Now, when the king hid the dove in his cloak, the eagle became wild with anger. Rage, R-A-G-E, rage means anger. And it turned to the king and cried loudly that how dare you that you are stopping me to eat my food. Deprive means to stop and prey means the hunted animal, that is a shikar. So he says that how dare you to stop me have my food, have my hunt. So the king replied that I dare because I'm the king of this area, of this region, and it is my responsibility that I should protect the weak. And when the dove came to me, it trusts me. It showed its trust in me and it was asking for shelter. So what should I do? Shall I not give him the trust? Shall I not give him the shelter? Should I betray that trust? So the eagle replied that when you save the dove, you are making me die of hunger because it is my food. Starve means to die of hunger. So he says that if you will save the dove, I will die of hunger because this dove is my food. Now, is this your idea of justice? Asked the predator. Predator means hunter. Ah, my friend, if it is food you need, then I am ready to give you an equal quantity of any other food you name, said the king. Any other food I name, repeated the wicked eagle. The king nodded his assent. Well then, I want an equal quantity of your own flesh. On hearing this, the courtiers stood up in alarm, for they knew that the good king would keep his word. So when the king heard that if that the eagle will eat the dove, but if he will save the dove, the eagle will remain hungry. So he said that, my dear friend, if this is your food, then I promise you that I will give you the equal quantity of any other food that you want. So the wicked eagle, wicked means clever in a bad sense. So the wicked eagle said that any other food you will give it to me. The king nodded his assent. Nodded means to shake head in yes, and assent means confirmation. So the king confirmed that whatever you want, the equal quantity, the equal weight equal to the dove, I will give it to you. So the eagle said that then if it is like that, then I want an equal quantity of your own flesh. So he was asking the king to give his flesh which is equal to the weight of the dove. Now when the courtiers, the people who were there in the court of the king, when they heard this, they stood up. They stood up in alarm. They got alarmed. They got attentive because they knew that the king is so much in love with justice and always keeps his promise that the king will fulfill this promise also.